time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have for you in news on this Thursday. We continued our first responders tour on the WHOW morning show on Wednesday, and we stopped at the Clinton Police Department. We'll hear from Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers and School Resource Officer Cody Mayer this morning in news. Also, we'll start the news day by taking a look at the snowfall recap from Wednesday's snow, and we'll have much more coming up this morning as well. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. The National Weather Service in Lincoln has released a recap of the snowfall from Wednesday, resulting in disruptions to morning and evening commutes for many across the area. The system brought sleet and freezing rain to areas near Interstate 70 and further south. A look at some of the snowfall totals. If you follow just Interstate 72 from Springfield to Decatur, Champaign, and eastward, about 1 to 2 inches of snowfall. A line of about Interstate 55, just north of Springfield, around Logan County, all the way to Bloomington. We're between about 2 and 4 inches of snowfall. The heaviest snow fell in northeast Illinois from a line of about Kankakee County into Chicago, where they received about 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. The Peoria area received about 3 to 4 inches of rain, of snow, and same for Bloomington, about 3 to 4 inches of rain. Less than an inch fell in a line from Danville down to Mattoon and Effingham and into southern Illinois, but again in the Clinton area, between about an inch to 2 inches of snow from yesterday. Some landmarks at cocoraz.org this morning in the southeast side of Bloomington. Normal near Downs, about 3.5 inches of snowfall in McLean County. You go to the northwest corner of McLean County and north of Carlock, about 1.5 inches of snowfall reported there. Into the Peoria area. Peoria received about 2.3 inches of snow, about 1.5 inches of snow in Morton, and in far northern Tazewell County in Washington, about 3 inches of snowfall there. Just over 1 inch of snow in Urbana yesterday. In the Watseka area of Iroquois County, about 2 inches of snowfall. And we mentioned northeast Illinois, Kankakee, 4.5 inches of rain. Meanwhile, in the Chicago area, between 1.5 inches and 2.5 inches of snowfall up in that part of the state. If you move to the south, Christian County, outside of Edinburgh, about 1 inch of rainfall in the southern portion of our listening area this morning. Again, our recap of snow today, courtesy of the National Weather Service, as well as cocoraz.org on this Thursday. Let's take a look at news now for this Thursday morning. Over the years, bullying has largely been moved from physical to verbal thanks to the advent of social media. On WHOW's First Responder Road Tour Wednesday, Clinton Police School Resource Officer Cody Mayer told Regional Radio cyberbullying has become a big problem for students he works with. He notes much of it happens on the evenings or on the weekends when kids are not in school.
This is stuff I'm hearing about and dealing with on a daily basis. It's, you're hiding behind a keyboard, you're hiding behind your phone. It's easier to do than when we were younger, to say things that are on your mind that may not be nice, may not be kind, may not be something that's uplifting, and it's going rampant. we keep getting more platforms that these students can use. There's not much regulation. There's not much that we see from maybe a parent side that can stop the kids from using it, and it's something they're using on a constant basis. There's a lot of it's happening at night and over the weekends, and they don't know who to talk to until they get to school. And a lot of times it comes to us and we find out they haven't talked to parents about or anything. They feel like they want to come and they want to tell the principal, the assistant principal. They want to tell student services and counselors. They want to come tell me. So it's something that maybe it happened on a Friday night and Monday morning they festered on it all weekend, and now we're getting to hear about it. So yeah, it's happening. It does certainly happen at school while they're in the building as well. But I think while they're in the same building, it's harder to hide behind that screen, knowing that person might walk by them later, so it's easier to do it over the weekends and nights.
Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers feels social media can be a useful tool for spreading pertinent information to the public and serves as a good advertising method for many small businesses. However, it does have its drawbacks.
I'm going to chime in. Unfortunately, social media and some of the challenges that come along with that aren't unique just to the school and just to the youth population. We're dealing with it in law enforcement, not just here in Clinton, but nationwide. It has created significant challenges for law enforcement across the country, and not just unique to the youth. We see it so much in adults too. Fortunately, I've been around long enough to see the advent of social media and the challenges that have come with it. And I would say, social media is a tremendous tool for us, for public safety, but also in private business and everything. We have the ability to reach such a large audience in real time. So that is one of the best tools that we have available to us. It also comes with the challenges that Officer Mayer deals with on a daily basis at school, that we deal with in a community. We spend entirely too much time, in my opinion, dealing with issues that have generated through IT, through the internet, through communication and whatnot online. It just has opened up an entirely humongous realm of issues for our society.
Chief Lowers, social media gives a platform for those who seek to spread misinformation throughout the community, which can be detrimental to the work of Chief Lowers and his staff. He says it's easy for users to present their opinions as facts.
You've got to police your own. You've got to be willing. You've got to be able to kind of filter out what's important, what's not. And we just cannot focus enough and say enough for parents to monitor what's happening with your kids and on social media and via the internet. People have that. They have an audience just like we do, and where it is a great resource for us in law enforcement and in community service. Those kids have that same audience available to them, to say whatever they want. And the amount of misinformation, the amount of opinions that are presented via social media platforms that are represented as fact. And again, I just hammer that misinformation with, quite frankly, no accountability. And that creates a tremendous problem. I mean, that is a topic and an area that we focus significantly on, as we were talking about the DARE program. One of the things that I see, whether it's criticism of our government, of our local government, of our school system, of private business, is people coming to social media to bash and whatnot, and as I say, kind of rally the troops and circle the wagons. When my first question is if you have a complaint, if you have a grievance with something, have you taken that to someone in a position to make a difference?
Yeah.
Or are you just out here to create some drama?
Right.
And we see entirely so much of that, especially among the youth. And so those things are just, to me, quite damaging to our society.
Chief Lowers references the recent Boyle order in Clinton and how misinformation led to cries from the community members who felt they were being kept out of the loop.
That is the most recent. That is exactly what we're talking about today. And that is something that is fresh in our minds. But that is just one example of a long list that I can share over the period of time that I've been here. But no, that is something recent that is fresh in our minds. But there is information. The other thing is, and I'm being critical to our own society here. Social media has also created a situation where people feel that they have the right to know everything. I mean, that they have the right to know every detail. when it comes to law enforcement, we have the integrity of specific and certain investigations and certain ways that we go about them. People feel that they have the right to know everything, and oftentimes we take on a tremendous amount of criticism for, well, they're not telling us this, or they are telling us this, and are they doing this or that? Put faith in those that are tasked with those obligations. The Boyle order is a great example. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of criticism there. I can assure you, I work with those people on a daily basis, that those that were tasked with those responsibilities were doing the best they could. They were working through that. The city was putting out the information that was available and pertinent to the community. And there again, also a tremendous amount of misinformation.
Right.
Something went from I heard this to this is factual,
right?
And it may not be. And so, consider your sources and follow. And if you have a question, pick up the phone and call.
The chief reminds not everything you read online is the whole story, let alone the truth, and hopes the community will go to their city and county representatives with questions or concerns about the happenings in Clinton. Over the years, DARE has shifted from solely being about drugs and alcohol to aligning more with the everyday struggles of young people. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers told regional radio on the WHOW First Responders Tour Wednesday. He and School Resource Officer Cody Mayer are in week 3 of the DARE program. The duo spends time with 5th graders in the Clinton School District to help them navigate topics like substance abuse and bullying.
But something kind of near and dear to me and to this department is we're right in the middle of the DARE program. We start that in late January. I think we're in week 3 now. I taught the DARE program myself for several years, and then Officer Bennett joined me. And then upon his retirement, Officer Mayer, we sent him through the training. And so it actually works out really good being able to tag team it, because it really is more demanding than probably what people might recognize. We spend 6 hours. There's 6 5th grade classes. We spend an hour with each class once a week, but we break it up into 2 days. So we just have 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Thursday. But the preparation for that, it actually turns out to be more than just 6 hours a week. It really is. It's demanding. But I'll tell you, the benefit from that, the interaction that we have with the kids, I can't speak enough about. Chief Reedy, that was his heart and soul, the DARE program. The DARE program was actually started, I believe, in about 1992-ish. By now, Sheriff Mike Walker, he brought the program to the Clinton School District. He was then joined by Chief Reedy in about 93, 94, and they ran the program together for, I think, about 10 years. DARE has encountered some criticism several years ago, but I am happy to relate that the DARE curriculum has changed. The DARE program, it's nationwide, it's worldwide, I believe. Yeah. And the DARE curriculum has been continually revamped. What we talk about today, and quite frankly, what 5th grade kids deal with today is different than it was in 1983.
Right.
And so while it still carries the acronym of Drug Abuse Resistance Education, it's actually, we do cover we cover alcohol, tobacco, drugs, but actually only one lesson out of a 10-lesson curriculum. We cover things like confident communication, effective listening, being a good communicator, making good choices, risks and consequences. Those types of things that you can relate to drug use or substance abuse, but also you can utilize in everyday life.
Chief Lowers finds one of the most important aspects of DARE to be what he and officer call humanizing the badge. Students participate in fun activities and the occasional moment of goofing off, which helps them build trust with their local law enforcement officer.
As much as anything, and why I am such an advocate for the program and such a believer in the program, when I became chief, and again, I'm just taking over where Chief Reedy left off, we're encountering a world today where law enforcement as a profession is under a significant amount of criticism, not here in Clinton, Illinois, but nationwide. And I believe, like they did in 1983 to look at the drug problem, we have an issue here of a lack of respect for authority, not only in law enforcement, but in the teaching profession and things of that nature. And to create a different climate moving forward, let's reach out to them at a young age. Let's provide a positive interaction.
Number one, job I have is the safety and security of our building staff, students. But that number 2 job is, as Chief was talking about, is building that relationship, bridging that gap, kind of humanizing that badge.
Yeah.
Just Monday night after work, had to go run to the grocery store, get a few things. And it happens to me all the time. A student will see me out in public and they stare at me for a second. Wait a second, that's Officer Mayor. And as I talk about how that second most important part of my job is that bridging that gap, building those relationships, DARE is that biggest part for me. I have a lot that I do. DARE is my favorite thing I do, and I've only done it for a year and 3 lessons now. I'm in my second year of it. So last year's class, our 6th grade class, that's my class. I mean, I walk into the junior high. My favorite thing to do each week is when I get time to go to 6th grade lunch. And those kids love me, and I love those kids. And my plan is to be a resource officer for a long time. So as I continue doing these DARE classes, it's going to be great building those relationships, humanizing that badge. So building those relationships, great thing. DARE works at a great level because it's not us going in and having to enforce anything. It's us going in, as Chief said, getting down to their level. We're having a good time with them, but we're also teaching them, spending some valuable time with them that way.
It's often said kids are great judges of character, and Officer Mayor reflects that sentiment by trying to be as real and relatable to his students as possible.
You've got
Any kind of person who's going to get in front of a kid, speak to them, try to teach them something, that kid wants to know you're reliable. They want to know that you're authentic. They want to know you are who you say you are. And part of, as Chief was saying, that revamped model, they noticed, several years back that police officers coming into a classroom saying, don't do drugs 10 weeks in a row. And it's just that don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Mm-hmm. That model wasn't working. Getting down to their level, talking about all these things that they are dealing with as 5th grade students, and talking about our own stories, our own lives, how it relates to us, showing them pictures of our family and our life outside of work. So letting them see, we are a regular person here to try to help them, and that's what our heart is about. That's where I think it really starts to sink in and they start to listen. Those first couple weeks, you can see that, like, it's weird. Oh, there's a police officer in our classroom. What's going on? But we joke around. I mean, Chief talks about how, he's in there, I'm doing most of it. What Chief's mostly doing in there is trying to get them all wound up while I'm teaching.
The fun uncle.
Yeah, so I'll be in there teaching, and he's got his laser point out. He's trying to distract kids, getting them all wound up, and then he's asking questions about why they're all wound up. It's that kind of stuff. Even though it seems like we're getting off track, that kind of stuff is helping build some of that trust. And like, oh, this guy's a little goofy too. He's not just this serious cop. So I think those things are all great for helping the program.
If you would interview the 5th grade staff, they'd have sent me to the office a long time ago. but no, we do. And you know what? I think, not only as an 11-year-old kid, as a 50-year-old man, you're going to be more engaged in something you enjoy, something you're having fun at.
Definitely.
No doubt, kids are nervous. We go in there at first, they're kind of nervous. The first week, they do very little talking. We just got to loosen that up.
The 5th and 5th grade students of Clinton schools will continue their work with Officer Mayor and Chief Flowers in the coming weeks to learn how to stay away from drugs and alcohol and handle many of the everyday challenges of being a child. The 3 Miller Media Group platforms in Clinton, WHOW, AM, FM, online, WEZC 95.9 FM, and DeWittDailyNews.com, along with Covenant Animal Clinic in Clinton, are co-sponsoring an Adopt a Pet campaign to help the DeWitt County Animal Shelter find homes for dogs and cats. DeWittDailyNews.com readers can click the Adopt a Pet icon and be taken to a page sponsored by Covenant Animal Clinic with pictures and descriptions of a pet available for adoption. There's also a link to an online form to complete to begin the process. A different pet will be featured each month, and as a part of the campaign, the clinic is sponsoring announcements airing on both WHOW and WEZC each day, reminding listeners to click the Adopt a Pet icon and to find out the pet is available for adoption now. 26 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. More to come on the morning show.
It's time to celebrate winter. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have extra savings on all new Chevrolets this month to celebrate the winter season. See our inventory of Chevrolet Trailblazers, Blazers, and the all-new Chevy Trax. We also have a larger, redesigned 7-passenger Traverse and a good selection of 24 and 25 Tahoes. See our winter celebration savings at BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
News time is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Breaking news from yesterday, former Democratic Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan, the longest-serving legislative leader in U.S. history, joined the list of Illinois political figures who have been convicted on public corruption charges after a federal jury Wednesday found him guilty of 10 of 23 counts, but the jury, which deliberated for roughly 65 hours over 2 weeks following a marathon 3 months of evidence and testimony, was split in its verdict. They acquitted the former speaker on 7 other charges and ultimately deadlocked on 6 counts. His co-defendant, veteran Springfield lobbyist Mike McLean, walked free after the jury deadlocked on the same charges. Prosecutors allege the ex-speaker and McCain, his close friend dating back to the 1970s when they were young legislators in the Illinois House, ran a criminal enterprise meant to preserve and enhance Madigan's political power in addition to enriching them and their allies. The jury did not return a verdict in the overarching racketeering charge against the two men. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 84-year-old Margaret Sue Murphy of Clinton passed away February 11th at St. John's Hospital in Springfield. A mass of Christian burial for 84-year-old Margaret Sue Murphy will be Thursday, February 20th at St. John's Catholic Church in Clinton with Thomas Sizidik, a celebrant. Burial will follow at Woodlawn Cemetery in Clinton. The visitation is from 5 to 7 p.m. Wednesday, February 19th at the funeral home with the rosary at 4:30. Memorials can be made to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. 63-year-old Julianne McKee of Mount Zion passed away February 5th at her family residence. Services for 63-year-old Julianne McKee will be Saturday at Calvert Funeral Home in Maroa with Scott Marsh officiating. Burial will follow at Maroa Cemetery. Visitation is from 10 to 11 Saturday at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to the American Diabetes Association. Coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in